April 24th, 2018. Test.
Good morning. It is 9 a.m. Today is Tuesday, April 24th, 2018, and this is a regular weekly meeting of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. For the record, Commissioner Cook and myself, Commissioner Peck, are here. Commissioner Miller is on county business at a training event in Spokane on the Columbia River Treaty. Important meeting. Glad that he's there. We've got a relatively short agenda this morning, but certainly we'll make time for discussion as appropriate. First item, call to order. We're now in session, and if you care to, please join me for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item of business here excuse me, is the Step 3 hire accounting assistant grade 3 or assistant 3, not grade 3, assistant 3. Well, I can't tell. Sounds like it. So, Carly Nave from HR, are you going to be presenting this topic?
I am.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm here today with a request on behalf of the auditor who is requesting a Step 3 entry for Maisie Stein into the accounting assistant 3 position. Maisie has served the county for 1.5 years as an accounting assistant 2, and in that time has well exceeded the expectations for her position. Maisie possesses an AA in accounting and business administration, and prior to her county service, she had 4.5 years of experience in various facets of accounting. Under the salary administration policy and CBA, Maisie would be placed at a Step 2, and the auditor is requesting authorization to place her at a Step 3. The individual who previously occupied the same position was at Step 7, which is why the Step 3 entry ultimately results in a savings from the amount budgeted for the position for 2018.
Okay. Commissioner Cook, any questions?
No, everything looked pretty straightforward read ahead.
So the 7 years of experience certainly is good, and I think anybody who's worked with Maisie recognizes that she's dedicated and does great work. So aside from that, I have a couple of questions. When we look at 7 years of experience, that is not at a grade 14 level. It's at various lower levels working up. So when we're looking at an entry position, what are a step for a person moving into position, what are the criteria, Carly, that we're looking at?
For an internal promotion, the individual moving up to a new grade would be placed in the step that affords them an increase to their existing salary.
Which in this case would be a 2.
Correct.
And if they have extraordinary experience or time at that same level of responsibility, we might look at a higher step?
Yes, both the CBA and the salary administration policy allow for a mechanism by which the elected official or department head can come to the board with a recommendation for a higher step. Generally, the way that we've looked at it is based on the individual's prior experience and education and the totality of their qualifications. Would they, in this new role, be performing at a level higher than, in this case, a Step 2, which for courthouse employees, they reach a Step 2 at 1 year worth of service.
So if a person were coming to this position from the outside, would we hire them in with identical background? Would we hire them in at a 3?
The auditor could certainly make that request, and the board could approve that entry, and it could be appropriate in this case, given the 7 years of experience.
Okay.
I think we've done that.
And we have done that across multiple offices in the recent past.
Yeah, I would just add that prior to my joining the county, there was some history with some of the positions in public works being transferred to the auditor's office to address some issues around the fraud situation that occurred at the time and response to that to kind of centralize the county control. I appreciate the education I've received in the last couple of days of the history and context of that. There was one position, back up a second, there were 3 positions originally transferred from Public Works to the auditor's office. Subsequent to that time, 1 position was transferred back to Public Works to handle some of the internal accounting issues that Public Works needs done on a regular basis. I would point out that the auditor's office continues to provide a number of services for Public Works around vendor maintenance, payroll processing, document processing, the financial statement preparation for the county that includes Public Works, some budget administration work, and certainly the development of the One Solution project. So as the history of those particular positions have moved back and forth a little bit, the evolution of accounting work, both within the auditor's office and the Public Works Department, has grown considerably. And so I think the net effect of that is we support this recommendation from the auditor's office.
Matt, I see you're here. Matt Mahoney. What's the status or situation in Public Works now with your accounting? We moved 3 bodies, as Keith said, out of Public Works. We moved 1 body back. What's your need there?
The accounting that we do internally is the board, and Keith are probably aware, is we do a lot of internal bookkeeping and managerial accounting, and right now our staffing is at a good level to maintain the necessary accounting that we need.
Okay.
We work in unison with the staff members in the auditor's office, and certainly this type of move is.
Sure. So we moved 3 positions from Public Works to the auditor's office. We did it in part to create separation for, well, let's be frank, for credibility reasons and others, to give distance. Were those positions properly in Public Works to start with, or should they have never been there?
I think what we found is the positions that we had in Public Works initially, prior to the fraud investigation, they just weren't doing the right things, as we know. Certainly, accounting does occur in our office on a daily basis and is a necessary function for us to do our work on a daily basis. So, what we've been focusing on is making sure that the people that we have, to be honest with you, we've replaced the positions that we've lost. They're just doing the appropriate functions for our departments.
So what do you mean when you say we replaced the positions? Because we didn't add 3 positions down there. Did we over time?
Yeah, we did a reorganization, and then we created the administrative support specialist position.
But you got 3 additional positions.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, that has escaped my memory. And my concern was that we had moved a lot of labor out of Public Works, moved them into the auditor's office for good reason, and that helped in a lot of ways. And the question was, do we have adequate staffing in Public Works? If not, do we need to add it? If we haven't added positions, do we need to look at returning positions from the auditor's office back to Public Works, or vice versa? But what I'm hearing is that you've got adequate positions added back in, you've got adequate staffing, the auditor's got, looks like, pretty complete staffing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. That satisfies any concerns I had. Commissioner Cook?
I would move for approval.
I would be happy to second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that is approved.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Carter. What is today, the 13th? No, that's one of those, I'm sorry, I was reading the date off of this submittal. It's 23rd.
24.
4/24/2018. Okay. 9:05 is public comment time. Not seeing any members of the public. Anyone wanting to make a public comment, now would be the time. Okay, let's move on to office business. You have payroll rosters.
We have two items in front of us this morning. The first being fund expenditures with 14 miscellaneous different current expense, enhanced 9/11, ending homeless, and et cetera. Bottom line of those items is $279,584.93. Keith has looked at them and signed off, Mr. Beaton and Basic Stein.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Second and final, I would move for approval for fund expenditures for county road and motor vehicle payroll. The bottom line of those two items is $150,365.84. And again, Mr. Beaton and,
Other people.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell that one, but it says Raul Ramirez underneath, so I'll take that as that signature. And I'll second the motion. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Right.
That's approved as well.
And with that, I will move for approval of the consent agenda 1 through 5 as presented.
Okay. I will second with discussion. Commissioner Cook, you have any comments or questions?
No, they're all,
So Keith, we've been through all of these. Any updates on any of them, like item 5?
Yes, I spoke with Kyle Sullivan yesterday about that. The 1982 agreement shows that Franklin County had the real estate of the land, and Benton County issued some bonds to purchase the building. It's a joint ownership of that property, and so it was necessary for both counties to lease agreement. And this is consistent with the prior agreement that we had with boards, reflecting current conditions.
Yeah, I know it was kind of a mixed history on the ownership. I just didn't recall exactly who owned what. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Consent agenda items are approved. Let's go ahead and sign them.
take.
Get them all?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And number one last.
All right. I think we're
Okay. Okay, moving on, next item for 9:15 is administration office business. Keith, what do you have for us?
I have just a couple of update things, no action items I'm aware of this morning. First of all, last week we had a fairly lengthy discussion with parties to the litigation between the Superior Court judges and the clerk. I had a chance to visit briefly with both parties to get a little better understanding of where they are. We don't need to discuss it today, just wanted to give you that update. And we had originally thought maybe we would revisit that issue this week in the request for funding due to the request from the clerk who is serving guard duties out of state right now. Requested that we revisit this issue on the 8th of May, which the judges have agreed to. The judges have asked for a little time next week to kind of answer some of the questions that were raised in our discussion last week. But that decision on funding will be delayed until both sides have had a chance to kind of further vet their potential litigation or mediation strategies. So we don't necessarily discuss it today, just want to give you that update that we'll hear briefly from them next week, but any decision will be asked for until at least the 8th of May. Also, just want to give you an update on the E911 consolidation that we're working on with Benton County Emergency Services. That effort's progressing as rapidly as possible, I believe. We've had some challenges with hiring dispatchers that are able to pass the technical and as well as the background checks. We've been actively recruiting all of the Franklin County dispatchers who've been offered positions and accepted those. As you're probably aware, Chief Skinner, who's the head of the Richland City Police Chief, is leaving that position to accept a position down in Oregon. The board has assigned his replacement to direct the affairs of the E911 consolidation. That's moving forward. We have anticipated right now a expected cutover date of August the 6th. That's the target date that we're shooting for. Obviously, there are things that could change that, but right now that's the date that we're looking for. Cutting the ribbon in the dispatch center. I want to make sure you're aware of progress today on that.
I'm sorry, you said August 8th?
August 6th, that's 6th.
Okay.
There is a BCES board meeting this Thursday, and we'll receive an additional current update of that meeting for you as well. Just the last thing was to remind you that I'm out of the office the rest of this week, attending county administrator's conference in Leavenworth. So I'm certainly available by email and phone to hold me in the office.
Keith, is there anything further on that needle exchange with the health department?
Yes, I'm writing follow-ups further, but the folks at the health department were supposed to be in touch with Blue Mountain and the city of Pasco to make sure that the city had overcome any objections that they had. And that was the one hiccup we thought we had covered, but apparently the city council and Grace Commission was not receiving adequate communication about the proposal. No lease that has been approved there, it hasn't opened up yet.
Okay.
So that is still in progress. We're moving in that direction.
Yeah. Talking with the mayor over there, it sounded like there was really no hiccups with the console, so except for the fact they hadn't heard about it. So.
Yeah, most of the feedback I've gotten on that has been that we should not have done it because it's going to increase drug use. I explained to them that at first blush it didn't look all that attractive to me either, but once you get down into the details of it and understand what's really going on, I think it probably does make sense. Anybody's got questions or concerns about it, I'd encourage them to reach out and get those details so they know what's really happening.
And we got an early out if something doesn't go properly. How we feel it should.
Okay. Keith, we need any executive sessions today?
Not that way.
Okay. All right. 9:24. We're actually a little behind, but keeping pace. Public comment time. Anybody from the public wishing to comment? This will be an opportunity. Okay. Anything else, Commissioner Cook?
Not aware of anything.
No? We're adjourned. I think that's the new record.
Yeah.
Pretty close.